Hi everyone, welcome to Edits by Annie, and today we're going to be learning how to blur out faces, things you don't want people to see, license plates, all those things. We're going to learn it quickly. I'm going to show you one step how to do it, and then you can apply to blur out pretty much anything at all. So let's get started. Okay, so this is my page, and for the purpose of this live, I have taken a video. So let's go to click on manage. You can click on manage video, or you can just go over and go to your edit, your YouTube studio. So when you get to your YouTube studio, what you want to do is that you want to go to your content right there. And I brought this video, ignore this copyright claim. Just ignore the copyright claim because this video is actually coming from my other channel that is monetized, DN Vlogs Live. So of course, YouTube is flagging it that, yeah, you've taken somebody else's video. So I'm going to delete it after this tutorial. But what you want to pretty much do is you can upload the video onto your channel and then do the blurring out. You could also do this if you have a good editor. I use Filmora, so I'm able to do it on Filmora. But if you forget to do it, don't worry. You don't have to re-upload your video and miss out on all the views you've gotten. So what you want to do is you want to click on this button right here. This is the details. Once you get to the details section, you want to click on editor. Okay. So when you get to editor, what you're going to see is you are going to see your video as if this is an editor. This editor is very minimal. If you want to see how to use more of the items in this editor right here, I do have a video that I've already created, and I will link that in the description area and also in the comment area. So you want to find out what you want to blur out. So in the original video that you can watch, this video itself, you can actually watch it on DM Vlogs Live, and I've already blurred out the image that I want to blur out, but in this piece, I've not blurred it out. So let's do that right now. So there was a guy that while I was talking about the dentist and about cavity, there's this guy right over here. So this guy right over here came into my view and you could see his face. And I could have just left it like that and not cared. But I was like, oh, you know what? Let's just blur out his face. So we're going to start blowing out his face. And you can see it comes into view right over here. And if I play this other section, his real face comes out. But I want to protect his identity. So I'm going to start blurring from this area instead of blurring from right when his face shows. So the way you do the blur is to come right here. This is the blur option. When you click the add blur, so you have to click on this button. And just to let you guys know, you can do this even after the video has gone public, and you can do it before the video goes public. So if you schedule your video, you could do it then. It's best to schedule your video instead of your video just going immediately public when you just produce it, because with that, you're not able to check if you made mistakes or not. So you could do a face blur or a custom blur. The difference between a face blur and custom blur is a face blur is able to track, whereas a custom blur is not able to track. So if we're going to do a face blur, let's imagine this guy is walking all around, the blurring will be following him. Okay. So right now we don't have a face, so this will be very, very redundant, kind of not necessary to do. So let's just imagine we did a face blur. It's going to tell us select the face. Now it's trying to figure out what is the face that we want to blur. Hi, Kemi. Thank you for coming. So it's going to tell us what is the face you want to blur. Now you see there's really no face that is coming up. So this is why I say this face blur doesn't work as well. So I always go with the custom blur. We could upload another video and I could test more face blur, but let's just do the custom blur right now. So this is a custom blur. So you can see with the custom blur, it is showing you where the blur is. So the blur is right over here, object. So I'm just going to say, I want to start blurring where I want to start blurring. Now you can choose the shape of the blur. So right here, you have the square blur and you have the circle blur. So I'm doing the square blur right here. So I just want to just take the blur and move it to the location where the face starts. Okay. So I'm moving the blur. You can drag it. Remember, when you drag it, it's going to position the blur button, the blur image right here. And then you have to manually drag this to the position. So you're going to hold down your mouse and just drag it to the starting position. So you can see right here, it is blurring this whole area. Now, the only issue with this customized blurring system is that you have to shape it. So let's say I was driving and this man was a Superman flying after me. It's be kind of hard to track. So you can see right here, you see how it's kind of tracking it, it's kind of moving it along. Okay, so I don't want it to move along. So what we're going to do is right here, you see the shape, you have the blur shape. So my blur shape right now is rectangle and oval. Okay, so we have oval shape, you could blur oval. And you can also, as I was saying, you can track the object. So if this person was moving around, I can say I want to track this person moving around, or I can fix the position. So right here, because I know that my car is not moving, so I'm just going to keep this as fixed position. So when I keep it as fixed position, this stays fixed like that. Okay, and I can see the guy is still in focus down there, and I can move it until the guy is out of focus. And then you want to drag this right here so that your blurring ends. Now the guy is going to come back again. See, it's coming back again in focus. So when it comes back again, can you add another blur? Well, let's try it again. So we're going to do another custom blur. It creates a new line. So the new custom blur is now starting. And again, you have to reset all the preset information. So we're doing rectangle this time. We're going to do a fixed blur. Okay, and then we're just gonna make you, at this point the man is much bigger, so let's make our blurring bigger. I don't need to blur all this area, and I'm just gonna wait until guy goes away, and yeah, right there. So I'm gonna do that. So you can blur as many times as you want. So if I play this, I'm gonna mute the sound so that you don't hear me. So if I play this, you can see that the guy's face is blurred at the beginning. Actually, it doesn't really come into focus at this point, but this is where it really comes into focus, and I'm blowing him away, and it's right over there. So that just takes care of all the blurring. So that is how you blur. If you want to track people's faces, you could track it. So let's test out, what if I want to blur tracking people's faces? So let's just do, I'm going to just do another blur. So we're doing another blur. We're going to do a face blur. So now you see there were two faces. It has already registered the guy's face now. So you can see this is my face and this is our gentleman. You can't really see his face because it's not fully in focus. But let's imagine, let's try and see how it will blur the guy's face. Let's try, let's try me first because I'm the more obvious point. Okay, so I'm going to select myself. So you can just go here and select whoever you want to track, or you can select all of them. So I'm just going to select myself. I want to track myself. I'm going to apply and let's see what happens. So you can see my image over here showing that it is blurring my face off. It takes a longer time when it does the face blur. You can see it's processing it, even though this is a 1 minute 19-second video. It's just taking its time. So if I come in here, you see it has given me oval blur, and watch what happens. This is amazing. I love what YouTube is doing. So you don't have to stress yourself blurring, putting color boxes all over the place. This is more professional looking. So when I play it, you can see how it's tracking me, because I have the tracking option and the face option. It tracks me, it blurs me out. This is amazing. You don't have to figure out, okay, let me just be moving the blur. Yeah, so this is amazing. This is how you blur. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once you are done doing this, don't forget you need to click on save. Click on save. It could take up to an hour or even shorter or longer, depending on the length of your video to reprocess, but you are good to go. If this has helped you, feel free to share this video and feel free to click on the subscribe button. Love you guys, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.